Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Survivalschule.at. My name is Mike and today I want to talk with you about prepping, so stay tuned. Prepping means to be prepared. You want to be prepared, but for what? Well, it's easy explained. You want to be prepared for any disaster, any catastrophic event, any problem that can cause you or even your whole family. Being prepared is not a thing for dummies, for idiots. Being prepared should be every person. Being prepared can mean you are prepared by your having a lot of skills, having a big skill set. But it can also mean take your stuff and you have everything you need in your backpack. When it comes to prepping, you have to make a choice between stay or bugging out. Bugging out means you have to leave your position, you have to leave your house, you have to leave your area because the disaster, the catastrophic is very nearby or you are in the middle of it. It can also mean you are living in a city and cities are not the place you want to stay in once there is a catastrophic event or disaster. You really want to go outside, you want to go in less populated areas. It's much safer there than in the city. Well, in the city there are the supplies, but once it comes to looting, supplies are shrink down very fast and your life is in danger. So even if you have stayed put for, I would say, few days, few weeks, there is the moment where you have to bug out and then you have to be prepared for any kind of situation you come along your way. You have to be prepared to have shelter again and again and again. You have to be prepared to have water, food and even medicals and also weapons for self-defense. Those are the points which you have to take care of at home before the disaster strikes. Another point is you have to have the right gear for which disaster has hit the fan. You may have often read or heard about the term SHTF, which means shit hits the fan. That's the term for a disaster happened, shit hits the fan. And you can imagine what happens if you take this term and put it in your head and make a comic out of it, you know, shit hits the fan. Maybe funny at the first moment, but on the second moment it's a big problem. So which disaster? And you need to be prepared for any disaster which can happen around in your area. Here in Austria we don't have any earthquakes, we don't have any tornadoes, tsunamis or other stuff, you know. I have to be prepared for financial crisis, for example, pandemic, stuff like this. This can also happen in Austria. But the chance of an earthquake here in Austria is nearly zero, because there is no tectonic plate around which can cause earthquakes. So which disaster you have to deal with, that's the point, and you have to have the right gear for it. You have to be prepared when shit hits the fan, and not just minutes ago or an hour before or once the disaster has happened. It's too late for preparing yourself. You have to be prepared before this. The best thing is to have a package in your home, in your car, where all the necessities are inside the bag, just for once the problem is there, once the disaster strikes, you are prepared, you can grab this bag and move. Also, a very important point is do some training. Do not just pack your bug out bag and wait for a disaster. Wait for a disaster. You don't want this. You want to know your gear, you want to know your stuff, you want to know how to use your stuff. Because once the disaster is there is no time for training anymore. Training time is over. You have to be prepared also by train yourself, get physically fit, and also you have to train yourself with your tools, your gear you have with your bag. You want to take your bag out in the woods. You want to take your bag into the city and train with it. There is a weekend which is not that important for family activities or whatever. Grab your bag, go out and train yourself with your gear, with your stuff, and you are good, prepared once shit hits the fan. A very important thing is also to build groups. One person alone is maybe good if you have not that much space to hide, but I tell you what, building groups is better. Why? It's very simple. Building groups means every guy of this group has a bug out pack, which consists of content and stuff you may don't have, but he has, you know, so you can share this stuff. A group is also better when it comes to self-defense. There are some guys, bad guys, and you don't have your weapon arsenal or all your stuff with you. One guy is very fastly dropped down, robbed out, or even killed. But a group is much more compact, and a group isn't that often getting attacked by people. Build a group, be part of it, train with them, know their stuff, know their equipment, and you're good to go. Also, a big and very important point, in my opinion, is to have the right tools. And having the right tools means which skill level do you have and what expert are you in. If you be a carpenter, for example, you may take some wood carving tools with you, because you can manage for the group, for the community, or even for yourself very easy stuff with wood. If you are an electrician guy, you may need to have some screwdrivers, some pliers, whatever around with you, because then you can approve the group and you can build for the group stuff that may come in handy. Let's say you can get some power in any form back for the group, or even for you alone. You can repair stuff like a walkie-talkie or whatever, you know. If you are a mechanical guy, you may have some pliers and some bigger tools with you, because you can provide people and the group and yourself by repairing cars. So having the right tools, which you are good at, which you know and know how to work with it, that's the key point, and that's exactly what you want. Going light is also a very important thing when it comes to preparing bugging out. You want to go light. You don't want to carry your whole house with you. You don't want to carry 30 pounds with you, because then you cannot move fast. You cannot go over hills very fast. You cannot swim through lakes or swim through rivers very fast, because a big backpack can even drown you down. It's not a good thing to have a 40-pound backpack or 50-pound backpack on your back. You want to go light. You want to have the right gear, very light, compact, in a small pack, and then you can move. Fast, silent, and efficient. Two last points when it comes to preparing. Multi-purpose is key, you know. You want to have stuff that is multi-purpose. That means you want to have stuff that is maybe built for one thing only, but you can adapt it for other stuff. You can use it for other stuff as well. For example, let's take my water bottle that I carry in my backpack. It's built as a water bottle so I can drink out of it. Because it is of stainless steel, I can also boil in it. I can cook in it. I can produce chocolate in it. I can transport water in it. Can collect edibles with it. But I also can use it as a small weapon, let's say. For example, I can put some rocks in it, some dirt, or even water, get a string on the top lid, and then swing it, you know. Once this hits you, I think this is not game over, but it will knock you out. Just as an idea, you know. Multi-purpose is key. You want to have gear that is useful for not just one thing, but useful for many things. Because you can't take all that stuff with you that you may need. But once you have multi-purpose things, multi-purpose stuff, equipment with you, you can easily adapt it. And that's the point. Adapt, plan, and overcome. That's the theory about prepping, about being prepared for a worst case scenario. And again, it depends on where you live, how many people you have to take care of, how far you have to go, which stuff you have, how big the group is you may find, or you may be part of it, and all this stuff. So you have to go inside your mind, inside your body, think of it, think of where I am, which stuff do I have, what can I do with it, is it multi-purpose, how can I switch stuff, but train with it, again, train with it, go out with it, train with your bug out bag, train with your personal gear, and you'll see which stuff comes in handy and which stuff is crap that you always have taken around and never needed it. That's for it now. In my previous video I have told you that I say in this video why I have gloves in my backpack, so that's the ending of the video. I do have gloves inside my backpack for the prepping, but also for urban survival scenario, urban environments. Your fingers, your hands are your tool you're working with. Sawing, cutting, slicing, chopping, whatever. Grabbing stuff, hold stuff with your hands, collect stuff with your hands. Those are your working. This is your working machine, the whole body, but the hands itself are in danger. every time you have a tool in your hand, you may slip off and injure yourself. An injured hand can cause big problems. So gloves will protect them a bit, and better than nothing. But these gloves gives me also the chance when I have to climb a tree, climbing urban environment, you know, concrete stuff, steel bridges, whatever. This can give me good grip without slipping, because the hands get sweaty, and the gloves will protect you from slipping off stuff. So gloves are always a good thing to have with you. And before you cut with a knife in your finger, it will cut through the glove. And that's one layer more than without gloves. So just thinking on this one.